Hello and welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Today we've got a very special video. We are going to review 6 drum heads made by Evans. They're all different. The first one is actually on my kit currently, and it's the Evans G2 Clear. Then we've got 5 others that I'm going to swap out, and what we're going to do is we're just going to play them raw on the kit, and then we're going to mic up the kit using very little effects and see what these heads sound like. So the 6 heads, I mentioned the first one. The next 5 are the Evans G1 coated, G2 coated, ES2S Clear SST, bit of a mouthful, Onyx, and hydraulic black. All of these are going to be on my 10-inch drum, and we're going to do a sound comparison and see what these heads sound like. Same drum, different heads. Let's see what they sound like. Okay, so the first head we are going to check out is actually the head that is on my kit that I am currently using, and that is the Evans G2 Clear. The Evans G2 Clear is one of the most popular drum heads on the market by Evans, featuring 2 plies of 7mm film offering maximum durability, wide open response, and undeniably fat low end. This clear drum head incorporates Evans Level 360 technology for ease of tuning, extended pitch, range, and optimum quality of sound, ideal for rock, gospel, and pop. Okay, so that's what Evans says about the head. I trust Evans. I think they're a great company. I wouldn't be using their products if I didn't think it was great. Now, I have to tell you right now, I am not affiliated with Evans. I'm not getting paid by Evans. This is a legit review of their heads, unbiased, even though I do use these heads, these particular ones. However, we've got 5 others that I never used. I bought 5 heads, and we're going to check them all out. Alrighty. Okay, so we are using this product right here. It's called Drum Dial. I'm going to do a video on this product down the road. It's basically a very helpful tuning device, and I'm setting it, every one of these lugs is going to be set at 75. Let's check it out on the kit. Okay, so now we've played the head, and what I have here is the sound profile that Evans puts out for this head. So the attack ranges from defined to balance, and it's on the 3/4 end. I would agree with that. I think that the attack is good. You can get this head to go from a very, very quiet, mellow type sounds right up to a roar. So I think the attack is really good on this head. Now we have sustain. The sustain is just below medium according to Evans. I would also agree with that. Again, sustain, it also depends on how hard you're hitting the drum to some extent. If you're hitting the drum harder, I think you're going to get a longer sustain. If you're hitting the drum quite quietly and maybe a tap or something, you're going to get short sustain. So I think sustain depends on what you're actually doing on the drum. The next one is tone, from bright to dark, and Evans has it in the middle. I would put it a little bit below. I find it's a little bit dark, but again, depends on tuning. You can brighten the tuning up by tightening the lugs a little tighter and tuning it up higher to create more brightness. So if you take the tuning that I used, which was at 75 on the drum dial, I would put this slightly below the middle. Again, tuning affects it. And the last one is durability. Well, it's in the middle. Evans has it as extended or average, and they have it in the middle. I'm gonna say that I would agree with that. It's probably, the head is probably gonna last you above average amount of time. It's a 2-ply, and I think it's a good quality head. The only thing is, it all depends on your playing. So durability is a difficult thing. If you're playing Pantera and Slipknot every night, your head's not going to last compared to playing some jazz or jazz fusion or something that's lighter, you know, some bossa novas or something. So it all depends, in my opinion, for durability as well as to what you are actually playing. Now, this head is suitable for rock and gospel, but I would branch out and say that it's quite suitable for a lot of other styles as well. Okay, so our second drum head is the Evans G1, which is a 1-ply head. Now, the Evans G1 features single ply of 10mm film, blending a bright tone, sustain, and sensitivity. The head sets the standard for an open and expressive sound. Tuned low, it produces a cavernous rumble that emphasizes the natural sound of the shell. The coated version delivers additional warmth, focus, and depth. That is what the head looks like. It looks really beautiful. It's brand new, obviously, so no marks on it. Let's go to the drum set and check out what it sounds like. Okay, so for this G1, this coated G1 head, I am going to give it 2 thumbs up. However, I prefer a head that doesn't quite ring as much as this head, and I prefer a head that's a little thicker, such as the G2. But the G1 is still a nice head, especially for lighter type playing. Okay, so let's run down the specs on this Evans G2 coated drum head. As I mentioned before, it's recommended for rock and gospel. The G2 tom batter head features 2 plies of 7mm film, ensuring consistency and durability. The perfect blend of depth, sustain, and attack makes small toms sing and floor toms growl. The coated version delivers additional warmth, focus, and depth. So that's the Evans rundown of the head. Let's go and check the head out now. Okay, so we have played the coated G2 head, and I forgot to mention that the information that I was reading from Evans comes from the right on the box. Okay, so in terms of what's it ideal for, Evans Heads recommends rock and gospel for the G2. I agree with that. I would also throw some other styles in there. I think it's fine for progressive rock and or jazz fusion as well. In terms of attack, sustain, tone, and durability. For attack, it's balanced to defined. So Evans has it in the middle. I would agree with that it should be in the middle. It's got some great attack, but you can also back off on it. You can get some real attack with this head, or you can also pull away from the attack. So this is very versatile when it comes to attack. For sustain, they also have it listed as being in the middle. I would put it a little bit above the middle based on the tuning that I did, which was at 75 on the drum dial. I would put it a little bit higher than in the middle for sustain. For tone, we have bright to dark. I would say this is a pretty bright head. Evans has it listed at 3/4 towards the brightness. I would agree with that. It's a pretty bright head. You can darken it down a little bit, obviously, but without any actual moon gels or any dampening on it, it's a pretty bright head. Now, durability, I believe extended to average. I believe, in my opinion, it's in the middle. Evans agrees with me. The durability of this head is in the middle. The coated heads tend to not last quite as long as the clear heads. However, it all depends on how much you're playing, if you're a gigging working musician, and how long you're playing for, and the style of music you're playing. Because if you're a light jazz player, you're not going to wear through the heads like a heavy metal guy that's pounding away. So, yeah, I love this head. 2 thumbs up. Okay, so now we are going to check out the 4th drum head in our Evans drum head experiment here. And this is the Evans EC2S. I'm not familiar with this head. I've never used this head, so this is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So the Evans EC2S Clear SST tom batter is good for rock and gospel. And the series features 2 plies of 7mm film with optimized attack, tone, length, of sustain and ease of tuning for each size head. The sound shaping technology SST edge control ring mounted on the underside delivers an extremely well balanced and pre-EQ'd sound across the full kit by varying the size of the ring for each different head size. Okay, so that's interesting. Like there's something right here on the drum head that controls sound to some degree. So hey, let's check it out. Okay, so we have a drum head here that I'm actually not really familiar with. I've never used it. It's the Evans Onyx. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Could be Onyx. Onyx. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce the name. I'm going to go with Onyx. But it's seems to be like a coated black head. It looks really, really sharp. I really, really like the look of it. Let's go over the specs. Onyx drum heads features 2 pies of 7.5 mil film that deliver enhanced durability and punch to help drums cut live. A frost coating gives the Onyx head a matte black appearance and increases low-end response and attack. It's good for rock and metal. Wow, very, very interesting. Well, let's see what this thing sounds like. Okay, so let's talk about this Onyx. It's ideal for rock and metal, as I mentioned before, in terms of attack, sustain, tone, and durability. Attack between balanced and defined. It's listed here by Evans at 3/4. I would agree. It's got a lot of attack. There's no doubt about that. It's got a lot of bottom end, and I actually liked the sound of it. I thought it was pretty good. It sounded good when it was raw. When it was mic'd, however, it had a strange overtone to it. Partially could be my tuning, also could be the Yamaha EAD10. I didn't tweak anything. Like if we were in the studio, that would be tweaked out. There would be no weird ring like that. I'm not tweaking anything. I'm literally just putting the mic on and hitting the drum. So I'm not going to hold that against it, but it did have kind of a weird ringing sound when it was mic'd. Now for sustain, I think it's short sustain as it's listed here. Between short and long, I would say it's just above short, the shortest. It's not a long sustain. It dies pretty quick. For tone, dark to bright, definitely dark. And it's not just because the head is black. It's because the tonality and the makeup of the head makes it a darker, you know, especially when tuned down low, it makes it a darker feel. And you can really, I'm excited. I know this is a 10-inch, but I'd love to hear this on a 16-inch floor tom. I bet you it would really rumble. Durability, extended durability, complete extended durability is listed here. I can't comment on that for this particular head because I've never used this head before. So I'm going to just go with Evans. Evans says it lasts long. I believe him. Let's carry on. Okay, we have come to our final drum head, and it's the Evans hydraulic. Again, another head that I'm not familiar with. I've never used it. So let's take a look at what Evans says about it. Let's take a look at the specs. Hydraulic black, which is good for rock and gospel. Hydraulic drum heads feature a thin layer of oil between two plies of film, offering maximum durability and a fat, deep, and short sound pioneered by early 70s rock and roll. Hydraulics are famously easy to tune, making them a perfect fix for troublesome drums and players with little tuning experience. Wow, that is very, very interesting. Please stick around towards the end of the video as I'm going to do sound samples of each of these 6 drum heads in a row so that you get an idea of what they sound like side by side. I mean, it's been a long video of different heads, but let's put it all together and come up with a summation at the end. And stick around because I'll pick my favorite out of the 6. Let's hear what they sound like. I'm interested in hearing this 70s sound. Okay, so for this hydraulic black head, very 70s, very wet sounding, very contained sound. The attack was very defined. It was a very defined attack because the attack is basically you hit the drum and the attack happens and then it goes away very quickly, which is the 70s wet sound, right? Sustain, very, very short sustain. Very short sustain. Tonality is very dark. Excellent for metal, even though it's not mentioned in this on this Evans guide here. I think it'd be great for metal. Durability, again, I'm not familiar with the head. What's really interesting about this head is that I would imagine, according to Evans, this head's going to last a long time, but the hydraulic part is the oil in between the two heads squeezed together is going to create durability. I mean, it's like a backup for that plastic film, right? So overall, I think it's a great head. If you want that wet 70s, not a lot of overtone sound, this is the one to get. Excellent head, really liked it. Okay, we have come to the end of the video, and I want to thank you for sticking it out. If you're still watching after all those drum head testings, you're a true lover of drums and of gear. Drummers traditionally love gear. That's why I enjoy doing these videos, because I love gear and drummers love gear. So we had 6 heads, and now I'm going to tell you which one was my favorite. Drum roll, please. So my favorite head out of all of them, I'm going to have to go back to my Evans G2 Clear, which is what I have on my kit right now. I know you're thinking, oh man, that's not fair, but I mean, you go with what you know. The other ones I was unfamiliar with, so it was legit. In terms of my review, I was reviewing something that was new to me. Second would be the Evans G2 Coated. I really like that head a lot. And I think third is going to go to this Evans Hydraulic, because I love the that 70s wet sound that we got out of this drum. I thought it was awesome, and I really enjoyed the sound of that drum. So those are my top threes. Thanks. Let me know what you think of the heads. Give me your top threes or top six, whatever you like. Like, subscribe, and as always, keep drumming. See ya.